The year was 1985. An estimated audience of 1.9 billion people in 150 nations tuned in to Live Aid, a two-venue concert held simultaneously at Wembley Stadium in London and John F. Kennedy Stadium in Philadelphia, benefiting famine relief in Ethiopia. And on March 24th of the following year, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences chose Out of Africa for Best Film at the 58th Academy Awards. But did they make the right decision? Jesse and Rian are here to pass judgment. This is Movies I Missed, 1985, Episode 11, The Year in Review.
I'm Jesse Munoz.
I'm Rian Miller.
This is Movies I Missed, 1985, Episode 11, The Year in Review. Today we're going to take a look back on the movies that we watched, some movies that we missed from 1985, or some movies that we rewatched. We'll give out some awards, give out our top 10, and just catch up and talk about the entire year of 1985 as far as film goes. 40 years ago, Ryan. 40 years ago. That's so nuts to think that 85 was 40 years ago.
It's the year I was born. You don't have to remind me.
So let's just start things off with some things that we watched outside of the show. Why don't you kick us off with one of the movies that you watched that was either something that was new or something that you rewatched from 1985?
So I just basically, I have a bazillion movies in my collection, and many of them I haven't watched. So I started off by just going in my little movie collecting app, searching the year 1985 and seeing what I hadn't watched yet. Picked a couple of winners, starting with The New Kids. This is a movie that was directed by Sean S. Cunningham, who gave us the original Friday the 13th. It's basically about two teenagers in high school. The brother and sister. The girl is Lori Loughlin from you may have seen her in Full House or The News when she committed a scandal involving college tuition.
Yeah, that's right.
But basically, they live a happy life with their parents. Their father is in the military. He's played by Tom Atkins, although he's not in it long because in the first couple of minutes, the parents go away on a trip and they both die in a car crash. And so the brother and sister have to move to like a backwoods town in Florida with their kind of grimy uncle. And he has recently sunk all of his money into buying a roadside, like run-down Christmas-themed amusement park, and he's trying to like fix it up and get it going. And as soon as the kids are in school, they both individually run afoul of this group of just fucking horrible shitbags, the leader of which is James Spader. And of course, he wants to bone Lori Loughlin, and she's not interested. And then her brother like comes to her aid in like getting rid of him, and it just starts this feud. And it's basically James Spader and these four other guys, and they just won't leave the brother and sister alone, and they keep like harassing them, and they vandalize the amusement park that they basically live at. And it turns into just like they attack them, and then the brother tries to get revenge, and then things get even worse. And the thing that really surprised me is that in the end, it got way more violent than I was expecting it to. Like, because it's teenagers, it almost felt like it was going to be, a little softer than your classic, like, kind of revenge film. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's like the night of a big dance, and the gang of guys kidnaps Lori Loughlin, and they take her to the woods, and they're like pinning her down and covering her with lighter fluid and like threatening to set her on fire, all because she wouldn't fuck James Spader, who during this entire scene is just snorting mountains of cocaine. And then the brother comes to the rescue, and it ends up in like a cat and mouse game running around the amusement park at night. And it's like they also have like some animals. I guess it's supposed to be like a petting zoo at the park. And so they like kill a rabbit, and then they're gonna douse them in blood and sick their like ravenous dogfighting pit bull that's trained to like latch on to anything bleeding and like finish it off. And then the one guy, like the one of the gang members, gets like the blood spilled all over him, and the dog rips his throat out, and then they kill the dog, and they're running around with shotguns, and all of them end up dying. All of the bad guy gang members, including James Spader, who gets set on fire by a makeshift flamethrower made out of a gas pump on fire.
Jeez. So is it like a horror movie, like a horror thriller, or
it's not a horror movie? It's like a thriller. It's just like so many movies, you know, where someone moves to a new place or they just run afoul of someone that they don't realize how like insane they are. And it's just like they think that it's a normal situation they can handle, and it just gets worse and worse as the movie goes on until everything explodes at the end. But I mean, it is pretty gruesome in the end. But then the weirdest thing is like all these teenagers from the local high school die. Like, you know, one of them gets his head run over by a roller coaster. A couple of them get shot. One gets lit on fire. One has his throat ripped out by a ravenous dog. And then at the end, like the very end, it cuts to, you think that the uncle is dead because I think he got shot. But then it turns out like, no, he survived. And after the story is in the newspaper about these like coked up hoodlums who had this like knockdown, drag out, bloody fight in the amusement park, it like makes the amusement park hugely popular. And now the uncle is like giving tours of where all the gruesome deaths happened in the amusement park. And it's totally not what I was expecting, but
interesting.
I don't know. It was weird. It also has Eric Stoltz in it. He plays the actual nice guy kind of love interest for Lori Loughlin. But I just thought interesting young cast with James Spader, Lori Loughlin, Eric Stoltz in a movie that most people probably haven't heard of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah. It was kind of fun. Set James Spader on fire. It's always a good time.
Must be like a pretty young James Spader then, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he's probably in his early to mid 20s, I would guess, playing a teenager.
Teenager, right?
Yeah.
Which seems about pretty typical.
Mm-hmm. But just an interesting one I pulled off the shelf and had been meaning to get around to, and here we are.
So you bought it knowing that it was the director of the original Friday the 13th?
I might have read that when I bought it. But more likely I saw the cast and was like, oh, this will be worth a look.
Big Lori Loughlin fan?
I mean, it's just a forgotten movie with a name that I recognize. I mean, probably more so James Spader and Eric Stoltz.
I was just kidding. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
The funniest thing to me about the whole movie, and I watched the whole thing and I don't really understand it, but her hair in the film, it's like, I don't know, a lot of big hair in the 80s, and she has a lot of hair, but it's not a style of hair I feel like I've ever seen before. You'd almost expect like bangs at the front of the hair, but it's as though it's almost like she's got like a comb over, like she's got long hair, but it's like hair is kind of combed to the side in front of her face. And I don't know how much fucking hairspray you'd need to do this, but it's like she has a hat bill without actually wearing a hat hanging over her head all the time. She's got this awning of hair out over the front of her face. And throughout the movie, I was like, everyone's acting like this is normal. I feel like it's the strangest hairstyle I've ever seen.
Interesting.
But you know me, I'm all about fashion.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I associate with you more than anything else is hairstyle and fashion.
Mm-hmm. Women's hair.
For sure. Yeah. Ryan Miller, connoisseur of women's hair. I watched Commando for the first time.
You had never seen Commando before?
Had never seen Commando.
Oh my God.
And I was in for a treat, my friend.
You were.
I've seen the cover a million times, right? It's a very iconic Arnold cover. It's him just all muscly. And I thought it was going to take place in a jungle, maybe something like Predator or something. I had no idea what the entire premise of the movie was. He is a retired
badass
person I do something in the military. And it starts out with a bunch of his ex special force members getting murdered, and then he's on the list to get murdered next. and instead they steal his daughter, kidnap his daughter, and he's got like 24 hours or 72 hours to get her back. He's supposed to go do a mission in a foreign country and like assassinate the president or something. I can't even remember. It's been a couple weeks since I watched it, but the story's not important. It's just like balls to the wall action. And it's like Arnold at like his peak, right? He is jacked beyond jacked. And he is flexing and doing things that no human being could ever do, including not get shot. There's so many times in the third act of the movie where he's rescuing his daughter on this island, and hundreds of dudes are shooting at him with machine guns, and no one can hit him. But it doesn't really matter. He's just there to do some badass stuff. It was really fun. It's super dumb. The plot is really dumb. Alyssa Milano is his daughter. Dumb is not the right word. It's silly. And kind of over the top, and kind of what you want from an 80s action movie, right? Like it hits all of the marks.
Yeah. You want nothing other than Commando from an 80s action movie. It is the like generically ridiculous 80s action movie.
It's ridiculous is a good word for it. It's just so over the top. Like the scene in the mall is super fun, and the final third act where he like goes commando,
blows up an entire fucking town, basically.
Yeah. He attacks the island is really, really good and worth watching.
Yeah,
I just watched with like a giant smile on my face the entire time with how ridiculous it was. It was kind of like when I watched Rambo: First Blood Part 2 for the first time. I'd seen it as a kid, kind of. You know, it's kind of back in my memories. But when I saw it as an adult just recently, like a few years ago, I think I talked about it when we were doing Sidetrack, it's like, holy crap, this is what you expect from like 80s action. And Commando fits the bill like perfectly. It's so good.
I mean,
I really enjoyed it.
There's better 80s action movies, usually because the story is better. Like Die Hard or Lethal Weapon or Terminator, but for just like that generic vision of like a really muscular guy with his shirt off and a ton of guns, it's basically Rambo and this.
Yeah.
Like the kind of guy you imagine when you think of like the video game Contra, you know?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. It is Contra.
And oh my God, just so many good lines like, oh, that's right. You did say you'd kill me last. I lied. Or fucking let off some steam Bennett in the end.
Yeah.
Dan Hedaya is the one bad guy. And then I think Bennett is played by the big dude from The Road Warrior, whose name is slipping my mind right now.
Right. And Dan Hedaya playing like a Latino guy, which could not happen anymore. But I thought that was pretty funny. Ray Don Chong as like kind of the love interest. They have this weird sort of relationship.
She gets like roped into things. It's
so funny when she first meets Arnold, he like rips out her seat so that I guess he's not seen. I'm not really sure why he rips her seat out of the car. It doesn't really make much sense. But it was just, it goes into what makes it so silly. So
yeah, it's got an 80s mall scene, her with holding the rocket launcher backwards.
Right. Yeah.
Even just the way the movie opens, and it's like the scenes of Arnold, or John Matrix as he's known, and his daughter.
What a
just
name.
Like, yeah.
That's a name.
Just the two of them like living in the woods, having a blast, looking at deer. He's carrying entire giant fucking tree trunks like it's nothing on his shoulder.
Of course.
It's just the corniest fucking movie. I love that movie. I can't believe you've never seen it before.
Yeah, it was a good time. I really enjoyed it.
Another one for me is I watched a kind of teen sex comedy called The Sure Thing. This was directed by Rob Reiner, which I was a little surprised by. I mean, he's almost like a journeyman director who has done all kinds of things in his career. He's done like horror with Misery. He's done like drama with stuff like A Few Good Men, etc. Stand By Me. Is kind of comedy and drama. But this...
He did Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah. He's just done a whole bunch of different stuff.
Spinal Tap. Few Good Men. He's done so many good things, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this stars John Cusack as, his typical '80s John Cusack teen character who's just too cool for school. And the premise is his best friend in high school is Anthony Edwards, who went on to be in ER, is what I mostly remember him from.
Revenge of the Nerds, Top Gun.
Yeah. And so it's like the movie opens and it's like, they've just graduated. Anthony Edwards is going off to school in California, and John Cusack is going to school in New England. And John Cusack, he's like, they talk about all of his conquests, like, man, I'm really in a slump. Like, he's basically talking about like, oh, in like junior year, I fucked this many girls. And in like sophomore year, I fucked this many girls. But my senior year hasn't been great. And Anthony Edwards is like, you should be coming out to California with me, man. Bag some babes. But then, so like John Cusack isn't having any luck in like his like first semester or whatever at college. And Anthony Edwards like mails him a photo of this like bodacious babe in a like a swimsuit, and is like, dude, this girl, she like just got out of prep school or something, and she loves to fuck. You should come out and visit me, man, and like I can hook you up with her. She's a sure thing. But John Cusack doesn't like have any money, but like over the Christmas break, he wants to go out there and visit his friend and get laid, I guess. So they have like a bulletin board on the wall at the school for like rides. So like if somebody's driving somewhere that you also need to go, you can like pitch in some cash for gas and get a ride with them. And there's this girl in his school that's kind of like the really like preppy, uptight girl who doesn't like John Cusack all that much. And she also needs a ride to go out to California to see her boyfriend. So the two of them end up sharing a ride with this kind of uptight couple. The guy is Tim Robbins. And the two of them are like arguing in the car and bickering and, being lewd and whatnot so much that they get kicked out of the car. So then it's basically like, okay, this guy and this girl who don't really get along, they're like stuck having to rely on each other on this like road trip to California. And along the way, they obviously start to fall in love. But then once they get there, it's like, oh, well, he just came out here to fuck this girl and she came out here to visit her boyfriend. But it's by the end, like they both realize that she doesn't like her uptight boyfriend. She actually wants to loosen up and be with him. And John Cusack doesn't just want some random girl to fuck. He wants this like uptight girl who he's like grown a thing for. And in the end, they fall in love.
Mm-hmm. How sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking corny. It was okay. I'm not a huge John Cusack fan.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't know. Him as like the young kind of teen heartthrob, him as like an older, I guess, more serious actor. I've just never been a giant John Cusack fan.
I'm with you. I to be fair, I haven't seen a lot of the stuff that he's been in, like the bigger 80s and 90s stuff. I feel like I missed out on. I haven't seen like High Fidelity. I've never seen. Say Anything. I haven't seen.
Yeah, Say Anything's pretty good. High Fidelity, I feel like I would like it better if it wasn't him in that role, or if the movie like wasn't even about his character. His character is kind of a piece of shit in that movie, I think. It's like hard to like him.
Yeah.
And you got Jack Black in an early-ish supporting role, and like the whole movie you're just like, more Jack Black, less John Cusack, please. At least that's how I feel. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's like he's supposed to be like the cool devil may care guy. And instead of like vibing with him and liking him, I just kind of find him annoying.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'm with you. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest John Cusack fan either.
Yeah. But that was another one. God, I probably picked it up for like $3 somewhere and it was on the shelf. So drag it out for old movies I missed 1985.
Yeah. The other three movies that I watched weren't first time watches, but the next one I'm going to talk about, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, I hadn't seen since I was, I don't know, 7 or 8. Like I remember as a kid watching Pee-wee's Playhouse, I think is what it's called, the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as a kid, I saw the movie, but it scared the hell out of me, which is funny to think because it's not really scary. There's some like creepier parts. I think the part in the movie where he gets picked up by the truck driver who turns out to be a ghost.
When you say Pee-wee and scary, that's the first thing that pops into your head.
Yeah. I think that kind of stuff.
Large Marge, is that her name?
Yeah, I think so. But I hadn't seen it for so long, and Pee-wee's kind of had a resurgence. I know he passed away a couple of years ago, and there's a new documentary I think that's out about him that I kind of want to check out. But I just remember being a fan of Pee-wee Herman, and so I rewatched Pee-wee's Big Adventure pretty much blank slate. You know what I mean? 20, 30 years ago, I feel like is the last time I saw it. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty fun. It's early Tim Burton, so you see a lot of Tim Burton-y stuff, but not too Tim Burton-y, right? He hasn't
it's
completely
not like
found
gothic and bleak, so it's like all the goofiness of Tim Burton without much of the like his dark style, I suppose.
Yeah. But there's still stuff there that's very Tim Burton-y.
Yeah, well, Large Marge.
Is it his first movie?
I think it might be like his first feature film.
It's just a strange, weird movie, which is not surprising because it's about Pee-wee Herman reclaiming his bike that was stolen. And it's so like over the top and silly and fun and something that I just really enjoyed. I wouldn't say I loved the movie, but it hit a lot of good spots and a lot of nostalgia too. I feel like kind of hitting those things that I don't fully remember, but are like in the recesses of my brain. And then the fact that it feels like Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back just completely ripped off Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
At the movie studio at the end. Yeah,
I hadn't realized like how much Kevin Smith just ripped off the finale of Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Well, Tim Burton got him back and ripped off the ending of his Planet of the Apes movie from one of Kevin Smith's comics or some shit.
Right. But the Tim Burton response to that according to Kevin Smith, that he's never read a comic book.
Yeah, the guy directed Batman and was going to direct Superman.
Oh, man.
I buy that.
That was so good. It's just a good time. It's silly. It's over the top. I do love the end with them remaking the movie. And they're watching it with all the characters that he's met through his road trip at the drive-in. I thought that stuff was really, really good. And Paul Reubens has a weird charm about him. I don't think there could be another character like Pee-wee where he's a little bit Mr. Rogers, but a little bit like a weirdo. I don't know. It's
not exactly like Pee-wee the character, but like the closest thing that I can think of a weird crossover type of strange man-child character, especially from the time, is Ernest to me. Like that's like the closest, like kind of cartoony, weird, like how did this character ever get movies made about them kind of movie?
Right, totally. Yeah, you watch Pee-wee and it's like, what is his charm? Or how does he even become a thing? Because it's so unique and it's so niche. It's just, he is Pee-wee Herman. It's this completely unique, interesting character. Very much like we were saying with Ernest, where it has, like, it didn't start as a kid's thing, but became a kid's thing.
Neither of them did.
Right. Ernest was like selling cars or something. I can't remember.
He was like a commercial character. He would sell milk. He would sell anything anybody paid him for. But he was like, it's like how was it Geico had those commercials with the cavemen? And it was so popular they tried to make a TV show out of it.
Right. With Nick Kroll. Yeah.
Yeah. But then like in Ernest's case, it actually worked. And like Pee-wee was almost like a burlesque kind of like comedy show thing.
Yeah.
Like, not that I think it involved, like, you know, lewd clothing and whatever, but it was just like, I'm going to put on a character and, like, do this weird performance. And then it's like, how did that transition into being a specifically children's show? Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That I don't know, but the fact that both of them happened in the 80s can't be a coincidence, right? It was just very specific to the time, and I don't think that happens anymore.
Yeah, Pee-wee, when I was really young, I loved Pee-wee's Playhouse and would watch it all the time, like when I was really, really young. And like I still have, I had like there was an action figure that came with the bicycle and like a little helmet. And I had that as a kid. I've long since lost the bike and the helmet, but I still have the Pee Wee Herman doll. And it's like his body was hard plastic, but his head was kind of soft plastic, and the nose is all mangled and his hair's all fucked up from me like chewing on his head. Like that's how young I was when I had this toy. But then, like, as I got older, there's people like when you and I were at the Kubert School together in New Jersey, one of the guys I lived with first year was a dude named Logan. And like, as an adult, he was like still a huge Pee Wee fan and had like the Pee Wee doll in his room in our house and stuff. And like, I knew that there were people who were way into Pee Wee as adults. And I never made that transition. And I didn't see the movies when I was a kid. So, like, it was probably maybe 15 years ago I watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure for the first time, and it was like a novel thing, but I didn't get the kind of enjoyment out of it I thought I might have. And I've never actually seen Big Top Pee-wee, which I guess people don't like as much.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it was fun. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it.
Yeah. My third and final first-time watch is a movie called Walking the Edge with Robert Forster, who you may know from Jackie Brown, or he was on a little bit of Breaking Bad, and he was in the El Camino movie. That was like one of the last things he did. He was also in a bunch of like 80s schlock like Alligator. And so he's basically help me out here because I don't know baseball. The actual like pro league teams are A, or that's triple A? Which way does it go?
Pro leagues are just pro, and then under that is triple A, and then double A, and then single A.
So I think he's like this great triple A pitcher that's like never quite made it to the big leagues, but he's just kind of floundering, and he's working as like a collector for a bookie. And he also drives a cab on the side. And there's a woman who, her and her son are being held captive by these four like mob toughs. And they're waiting for her husband to come home. And they're going to like ambush him. And then it ends up the husband and the child get killed, but the woman gets away. And then she finds out where these four dudes are that killed her husband. And so she hires Robert Forster's character to like drive her around for the day in the cab. And her final stop is he doesn't know that she has a gun, and he's basically driving her to the auto shop where these four like mob toughs work so she can kill them. And she manages to kill one of them, but then the other three like start to fight back, and she jumps in the cab and the two of them take off. And he's basically like, he's a good dude. So he's like, I'll like hide you for now, and I'll try and get some money together to help you like get out of town. But then it turns out that the mob has figured out who he is. And he's like a dude who doesn't want to hurt anybody. He's not a violent guy, even though he's like a collector for the mob. And so the majority of the movie is him like going around town, like trying to settle these debts. And he's finally having to kind of turn a little bit of a mean streak to get money that people owe him, that he's been like letting them slide on. And then by the end of the movie, the mob dudes like track him and her down. And it's like, okay, I finally have to be a badass. And so like the whole movie, you're waiting for like the ultra violence to begin, and then at the very end there's like a couple of kills that I was like, holy shit, where's this been hiding the whole movie? Like I posted one of them to my Instagram page in one of my stories, but there's a scene where he breaks this dude's neck, and it was one of the most like, as far as I know, because I've never broken anyone's neck, but it was it was one of the most as far as you know, it was one of the most like violent and realistic neck breakings I've ever seen. And it was just Robert Forster. He's such like an unassuming dude. He's just like kind of lanky. He just always seems like he's just like going with the flow. in like every movie I've seen him in. He's just kind of, depending on when the movie came out that you're watching, he's either got like just this kind of curly mop top, or he's balding, or has like really bad plugs. And he just seems so unassuming. But at the end of this movie, there's like a couple of kills where you're just like, holy shit, where was this hiding this whole time? And if you know who Joe Spinell is from the movie Maniac, he's like the final like mob tough that he has to go after in the end. And so it was pretty cool to see that as well. But
he has a toughness to him, right? Like there's a classic old man toughness that he's got, quiet toughness.
I mean, I guess you believe that like this dude can handle himself, but it's almost like the way he carries himself, because it's like in something like Jackie Brown, he never seems really bothered by anything. And in that movie, he doesn't like turn into a badass at some point and murder a bunch of people, but he just naturally, the way he plays a character is just almost aloof. And you could believe that like maybe he's so easygoing because he knows that if shit goes down, he can handle himself or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of this movie, oh man, there's a couple of just like really good just like confrontations between him and these dudes that he's after. But yeah, it was like this is another one I bought just basically because of him and Joe Spinell's names. Joe Spinell's not in it much, but yeah, I don't know. It's like it was 85, but it is like a lot of it is shot on location in and around like Los Angeles, and just the time period and the vibe of the movie is very like 1970s crime. And it's almost like a neo-noir. He's not a detective, but he's just kind of this down on his luck dude who's trying to do the right thing, and he gets caught up in something. And there's just like these nighttime scenes where, since he's a cab driver, he's driving around and you're just seeing like the billboards in Hollywood for like the movies that were out at the time, like Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan and shit. And it's just the whole feel and look of the movie I just loved.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, it was for me, I'd call that one a hidden gem. I liked that one quite a bit.
Yeah, it sounds like something I want to watch.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I mean, I like Robert Forster from the few things that I've seen him in. They're all where he's older, right? Like you mentioned, Jackie Brown. I really like him in Jackie Brown. He seemed old in that, and then you see him in like Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, and he's even older, but he still has that like calm, quiet, hardcoreness, right? He's very unassuming. I think that's what made him perfect in the role that he played in Breaking Bad of like the cleaner, basically.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would recommend this, but maybe even more so, I'd recommend an 80s movie called Vigilante, which basically feels like a producer saw how well Death Wish did and was like, hey, we can do that. And so it's about, like gangs taking over the neighborhood. And if I remember correctly, it's like Robert Forster and one or two other people. I want to say Fred Williamson might be in it. And it's like they almost form this like, well, we're gonna be like a little gang that protects our own community against these like drug dealers or gangs that are coming into town. I see. It's very much like that kind of 80s like fight back against crime kind of movie, and he's the main character, and that one's good too. Cool.
Always good to find the hidden gems. This isn't a hidden gem, and it's something that I watched before, but I watched Police Story. And I think I fell in love with it even more.
Not hard to do.
That movie is so good. Just like the opening action set piece with the car that drives down the giant hill and everything that's happening. It's so good. It's like edgy of your seat, like what is going on? And then that final action set piece in the mall. And of course, with the big stunt that Jackie does, sliding down the lights. But not just sliding down the lights, like that's tops it, but just like everything that is going on in that scene is awesome. And then so you've got these like two big opening closing set pieces that are just like balls to the wall, really cool stunts and action. And then in the middle of the movie is Jackie Chan turning up the charm to like 11. I found him so entertaining and so funny. At little scenes like when he's answering all the phones and he's juggling all the different calls. It's silly, but it's like fun. The stuff that he's doing with the hostage that he's supposed to be taking care of is really entertaining. Like when he has his guy come in to like stab her or to be under threat, and it's all like a ruse. That stuff was really fun. And it turns out the actual threat is there. Jumping off the roof into the pool, all that stuff is like, there's just so much charm and charisma that he has. And I can't even understand the language that he's speaking. And he still has that charm and personality. And I was like, man, I have to see more early Jackie Chan. And I feel like I've really like put myself at a disadvantage by waiting so long to kind of explore some of this stuff. Like I know I watched Police Story when we were reviewing stuff on Sidetracked. I don't think I appreciated it enough. I think I enjoyed it, but I don't think I really appreciated what it was. But this time watching it, I feel like I was just completely blown away by the entire movie from like front to end. And it really, really worked.
Welcome to the club, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big Jackie Chan fan. Police Story is my favorite Jackie Chan movie. That fight scene in the mall is probably my favorite 7 minutes of on-screen action in any movie ever.
It's just
I love
so
this movie.
Good. And it's like, it's all happening for real. You know that his stunt team is so well trained and know what they're doing and are doing things that no one else has ever done before on film. And it works so well. I don't know. I'm just so enamored by all of it, honestly. Like, yeah, it's easy to be overwhelmed by the big stunts that are happening in the beginning and the end of the movie. But I was even more blown away by how much I was charmed throughout. Like, I don't know. It just really worked.
I mean, Jackie sort of kind of had something to prove with this movie because he was getting to be a pretty big name in Hong Kong and in China. And then it just seemed like, I guess for him, the natural progression was to go to the West, kind of like Bruce Lee had tried to do and like make a name for himself in America. So he comes to the US and he did maybe like 2 movies here. And one of them, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's him and why can't I remember his name either? It's him and an American actor who you wouldn't expect to be teamed up with Jackie Chan in an action movie. And it's kind of a Rush Hour situation, like, oh, the Asian cop has to come over to the U.S. and they're teamed up and they don't want to be kind of thing, but it's not as much of a comedy. Danny Aiello is the the American cop that he's teamed up with. And Jackie, he was trained in martial arts and he comes to America and he knew how they should film the fight sequences and the stunts, but the American director didn't want to listen to him. And there's actually 2 different versions of the movie out there that you can watch because Jackie Chan got a hold of it and re-edited the final action scene himself, and it plays way better with all the same stunts and stuff, just edited better. And after having that bad experience making like a generic kind of American cops and bad guys action movie, he came back to Hong Kong, and Police Story was him writing and directing and starring himself. He even sings the theme song for the movie. So it was basically him saying like, look, guys, that thing you were trying to do, I can do it. And then he made fucking Police Story, which is like an incredible action movie. It's funny. Like, he just knows how to use all of his own skills, like, to the best of his ability and like put them all up on screen together. And I think it shows. I mean, he's great in a lot of movies, but this one is my favorite. And I think part of the reason is because it's like all him. And he just knew what he was doing.
I think Rush Hour was the first time I had seen Jackie Chan in a movie.
I think that's probably true for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was in the late 90s. And even in that movie, he's got a lot of charm. It's kind of upstaged by, what's his name?
Chris Tucker.
Yeah, Chris Tucker, because Chris Tucker is so over the top and fun. I really like that Rush Hour. I don't think I realized how charming Jackie Chan was or is.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it really worked for me this time. I really, really, really liked Police Story. It was really, really good.
I think it's really, really likable. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Anytime,
and the music was great. All of the music was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, just like the 80s look and feel of everything. I mean, that's the movie that made me, I don't even really know what to call it, but I generally refer to it myself as like 80s urban action. Like there's plenty of, period piece, martial arts, kung fu movies out there. But the ones that I really love are like Police Story or Yes, Madam, where it's like 80s cops in the city, like tight alleyways, neon lights, rain-drenched streets, snub-nosed pistols, sneakers and jeans and baggy jackets, and just like explosions and fight scenes in like urban environments. That's like the real sweet spot for me for like martial arts movies. And yeah, this is probably the best one in my opinion. But anytime you want a to-do list or some homework of like early Jackie Chan, I got you covered, bud. I can give you the good stuff.
So do you go Police Story 2, Police Story, I guess, Super Cop then?
Well, the thing is, like, Super Cop, technically, they call it Police Story 3, but it's not really related in any significant way. And I mean, the fourth one, quote unquote, is Jackie Chan's First Strike, which again, they kind of have nothing to do with one another. But like, for sure, Police Story 2 is really good. Super Cop is awesome. Jackie Chan's First Strike is awesome. But I mean, even in addition to that stuff, some of his period things like Project A or fucking Drunken Master is mind-blowing. Yeah, I could give you a laundry list of stuff to check out now that your mind has been opened.
Michelle Yeoh is in which ones? Is she in Super Cop?
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh's in Super Cop. And then I just mentioned a movie that doesn't have Jackie Chan in it a moment ago called Yes, Madam. And it's Michelle Yeoh and a American female martial artist named Cynthia Rothrock. And that movie fucking slaps. I absolutely love that movie too. Also came out in 85. The final action sequence in that is fucking mind-blowing as well. And Sammo Hung has like a small cameo role in it as well. But yeah, a lot of good stuff. And then
Rumble in the Bronx?
Rumble in the Bronx is fucking great. I mean, all the movies from that time period are worth watching for sure. I mean, just the most inventive and fun fight sequences like of all time. Just, utilizing found objects and, it's kind of like I go to the theater and I see like a new John Wick movie and it's like impressive action, but it's kind of repetitive. It's just like pick up a gun, double tap a guy, someone comes up behind you, you flip him over onto the ground, shoot him in the head, grab something else, another gun, and just do the same thing over and over again. But like Jackie Chan, every single fight scene is going to be staged in a different place with different objects, and it's never repetitive. I mean, even a movie like Mr. Nice Guy, which is not the greatest movie, there's an action sequence in that they set in like a building that's under construction using like power tools and shit. And it's fucking mind blowing. Like there's so many Jackie Chan movies that I watch and or rewatch where it's like the story is kind of lame and he's always charismatic and likable, but like I don't really care about what's going on. I just know that like every 20 minutes I'm going to see an amazing action sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like I said, Project A, there's the Operation Condor movies. There's tons. There's tons to catch up with.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the filmography and it's like a million movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Is he your number one, like on that action list that you made with all the different action stars from the 80s to the 2030? Is he number one on your list? Or
I mean, that's a tough question because like I include him because he is like a huge deal from that time period, and he did have crossover success in America when they started like licensing his movies and dubbing them and putting them in the theater, like Rumble in the Bronx and Super Cop. He's on like another level from the rest of those guys, like Steven Seagal. He's all presence, and even then he's kind of shit compared to someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's in a bunch of movies from that time period. Van Damme has like some physical prowess, but he's not like a trained fighter or anything. He's more of a trained dancer. Then again, Jackie Chan also came up in ballet school. That's where him and Sammo Hung and Yun Biao met. But someone like Chuck Norris is a skilled martial artist, but he's not as good with like the choreography, and he's not as charismatic to watch. So it's I almost view them as there's Jackie Chan and then there's everybody else. because, you know, you have a different style of action star when you have the American stuff. Like a Commando is a great example of like where Arnold's strengths are. They're not the same as Jackie's, but like you believe that Arnold could pick up 3 dudes with one arm and throw them across the room. Whereas Jackie, like half the fun is during most of his fight scenes, he does not have the upper hand. He doesn't walk into a room and you're like, he's going to throw everybody down. Yeah. You know? But that's like the fun of it is like, you know, he always feels like he could lose at any second and you're really pulling for him. Whereas Arnold, you're just sitting back like, yeah, just fucking wreck these dudes, man. So, but I mean, just for the amount of movies and the just incredible action sequences that he crafted and participated in, like he's probably the best. But I mean, I am a huge Arnold fan just from watching like Terminator and Commando and Predator and all those movies a billion times when I was a kid. But
cool. It's
all gravy, baby.
Yeah, I've got some homework to do.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about it. Last movie I have to talk about this was actually a rewatch. I was crafting my top 10 movies of 85 for this episode, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is going to make the list, but it had been so long since I'd seen it, I wanted to finally give it a rewatch just to like decide where it goes, and that's To Live and Die in L.A. Directed by William Friedkin.
R.I.P.
Yep. Starring William Peterson and Willem Dafoe, among others. Do you remember the movie Thief that we watched with James Caan? Mm-hmm. Remember just how fucking awesome that movie looks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This movie is like the closest thing I can think of visually to that, of like an 80s American kind of crime movie that is just gorgeously, ridiculously stylistic in just like the way that it's shot and the color palette. Obviously, based on the title, takes place in Los Angeles. William Peterson and his partner work like tracking down counterfeiters, and Willem Dafoe is just playing a magnificently bizarre character. He's just got that like statuesque etched face with those fucking cheekbones and the weird lips, and he is like an artist who burns his paintings and is into weird sex stuff, but then he's also like the world's best like money counterfeiter as well. And you get to like watch him go through all the paces of like how to counterfeit money. I don't know if it's bullshit, but it's cool to see him do it. And then William Friedkin, or William Peterson's partner, he's 3 days from retirement. He literally says in the movie, I'm getting too old for this shit. And then he decides, you know, I want to try and make one last bust. So he goes out on his own without his partner and tracks down Willem Dafoe and ends up getting killed. And then the rest of the movie, William Peterson is saddled with this new partner, and he's just like, I'm going to do anything I can to take down Willem Dafoe. And it's just, you know, in the vein of Dirty Harry, they're just breaking every single rule in the fucking book as cops and making terrible decisions and digging themselves deeper and deeper into trouble, but all the while getting closer and closer to Willem Dafoe. And it's just like, you know, scenes in strip clubs and scenes at dusk, and there's fucking neon lights everywhere, and there's fucking gorgeous sunsets because of all the smog in the air and the atmosphere, and just people smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol and fucking shooting each other. And it's just, I mean, it's just style for style's sake. And I sometimes that's just what you want.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like a precursor to Drive, in my opinion.
Okay.
And
yeah, that makes sense.
A twist at the end that I don't think anybody saw coming. And just Willem Dafoe is such a good bad guy. Yeah. It's just, yeah, it's a movie you sit on and you just drink it in with your eyeballs.
Sure.
But it's just like very violent, and it doesn't hold anything back. Like the big twist thing at the ending, the studio didn't like it. They thought that it would turn audiences off, so they made William Friedkin film a new ending. I don't want to say what it is in case anybody wants to check out the movie, which everyone should if you haven't seen it. But so they filmed a new ending, And I was watching a little interview on the Blu-ray, and the guy that edited the movie was like, yeah, so we took it and we edited it together, and we like did the sound for it, and we color corrected it, and we put it in the movie, and we showed it to William Friedkin, and he watched it once, and he said, throw that shit in the trash. We're never showing this to anybody else ever. And it's on the Blu-ray to watch, and it is a terrible ending compared to what the original one was, but he's just the kind of guy that wouldn't take shit from anybody, and God bless him for it. That man in an interview, William Friedkin, is just unlike anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he either doesn't know how to censor himself or refuses to, but either way, he was fantastic.
I love watching interviews with him because of that. Like, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. So To Live and Die in LA, definitely worth a look if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I need to check that out. The last movie I watched was Back to the Future. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we're going to do our top 10 list, and spoilers, it's on my top 10 list. So it's just so good. It's just so good. Like, I've rewatched it so many times, and every time, I don't know if I pick up something new or if I focus on a different part of the movie, but the comedy, the drama, the way it's shot, just everything is just so perfect. It's just so good. I just love Back to the Future. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good one. It's a good one. All right, let's get to our before we get to our top 10 movies, actually, really quick. Let's kind of look back at the last 10 episodes that of the movies that we watched. You know, when we did 1999, one of the reasons that we did 99, or the reason that I chose for us to do 99 originally, was because it was such an acclaimed year, right? Like, there was so many different good movies in 1999. And it's considered one of the best years in film. 1985 is a little bit different. You know, it does have movies like Back to the Future and Police Story and Rambo 2 and lots of really good movies. But I don't know if it's necessarily considered one of the best movie years. Like, you picked it because it was the year of your birth. It's happened to be 40 years ago, which kind of worked out. Looking back at the 10 movies that we chose, do you feel like there was a lot that we'd missed, that you left off the bone? Or what do you think about 85 in a whole?
I mean, it's no 99. I mean, the big telling thing for me is that when we did 99 and we did our top 10s, I think a little bit to your chagrin, I had a runners-up list that was like 1,800 movies long. Yeah. And, you know, I crafted my top 10, which we'll reveal in a little while for this episode. And I have a couple runners up, but it weren't that many that I felt were deserving or needed to be mentioned.
I had a tough time, man. I definitely had a harder time. Like, the top is top. Like, that was easy. But, like, as soon as you start getting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, none of these are, like, really, really hitting me as, like, favorite movies. So it's like a beleaguered top 10. Like, I'm not really passionate about. I'm going to be curious to hear
yours because, as you know, it's me we're talking about. I have like a fair number of like genre movies on my list that I either think you haven't seen or aren't the biggest fan of, probably. So I'm really curious to hear what makes up the majority of your list. But
yeah, well, let's get to it then. So my number 10 is Commando. You know, I newly watched. You thought I might have seen it in the past. Maybe I should have. It's my number 10. I really liked it. To be fair, I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd when I reviewed it, despite like really liking it.
Harsh.
And so that kind of tells you where we're going to go from here. Like, it was fun. I really enjoyed exactly what it was. Like, it's specifically an 80s action movie, and it hits all those beats to perfection. It's not my favorite movie. The story is pretty silly. The performances are what they are. But I really liked it. I did like it. So that's going to be my number 10. But that kind of gives you a gauge on where we go from here, right? Like, I thought it was fun. Arnold's awesome in it. He's got a ton of charisma. That final action scene on the island is super, super duper fun. Even like you mentioned in that scene where she gets kidnapped in the beginning, it was really good. But yeah, so that's going to be my number 10.
Right on.
And so that the show doesn't go too long, I'll just give you my 10 through my 6, and then we'll spend a little bit more time on our top 5. So number 10 for me was Commando, and number 9 for me, Vision Quest, a movie that we reviewed here on the show this season. Really enjoyed it. I really like Vision Quest. I think it's kind of stuck with me. I've just really enjoyed it. I thought the visual style, I thought the naturalistic look of it, and of course the music really, really worked. Linda Florentino's smoking in it and got a ton of charisma. So number 9. Number 8 for me is Teen Wolf. Now I can fully admit that this is not a great movie. Similar to Commando, I'd probably give it like a 3 stars. So maybe I should put it above below Vision Quest. But man, there's just a piece of nostalgia that just goes way back and has just got its hooks right in my brain. Like Michael J. Fox is just, again, has got so much charisma and really makes the movie work. With no Michael J. Fox, you get Teen Wolf 2, and Teen Wolf 2 is pretty unwatchable. So that's my number 8.
You said the one word that will allow me to forgive you putting that in your top 10, and that was nostalgia. I strongly, having seen that movie a couple times now and as an adult and not when I was younger, feel that the only way that movie works is nostalgia.
It must be. Like,
I think Teen Wolf is a piece of shit personally with like a really good actor in it.
Yeah.
But
the nostalgia, man, it's there. It totally works. Number 7 is Day of the Dead. This is like, I think, my least favorite of the 3.
Oh, really?
Dawn and then Day. Dawn, I think, is my favorite. And I actually think I like Night more than I like Day. Day is really good. All the stuff with Bub and is silly. And I was rewatching some of it last night, and the effects, especially for 1985, and some of the deaths are just like on point and still hold up.
Joke on him.
I really, really like it, but yeah, it's my least favorite of the 3. Number 6 is Goonies. Really, really big fan of Goonies. Again, has a bit of the nostalgia. We watched it recently a couple years ago with the kids. They didn't quite feel the same way as I do, but it's kind of ingrained. It was such a big movie and really, ushered in the feelings of what it was like to be a kid in the 80s and the imagination of going hunting for pirate treasure and things like that.
I mean, if it didn't connect with your kids, even though they are kids when watching it, it's probably because they can't identify with that, what you just said, being a kid in the 80s, because being a kid now is like such a different experience.
It is. Our bikes were the most important item for me as a kid in the 80s and the 90s.
That's because you didn't have a Switch.
That's exactly. They're flying through the air in Fortnite and talking to Darth Vader's AI, and like none of that stuff was going on in the 80s. So you had to imagine all of it, and there's a great part of that. So Goonies hits that for me.
Right on. That was your 6?
That was my 6, yeah.
All right, for me at number 10, if I had time to watch one more movie and give it another evaluation, it would have been this one, but I'm going to slide it in there anyway, because when I did watch it however many years ago and log it on Letterboxd, I gave it a 5. And despite all the shit we talked about Chevy Chase and Spies Like Us, my number 10 is Fletch. Which, again, it's been a number of years since I've seen it, but I remember really enjoying it. Again, like I said, I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. I came kind of late to the game with Chevy Chase, and he's not always my favorite. Like, the vacation movies aren't my favorite thing in the world, and I enjoy Caddyshack, but I don't think it's like a great movie. But I remember really liking Fletch and thinking it played to Chevy's strong suits very well.
Sure.
And just thinking that it was a funny movie. So that's going to slide in there as my number 10. Number 9 for me is another Jackie Chan movie. Half this list could have been Jackie Chan if I wanted it to be, because this was like his heyday. But I'm going to throw in Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars. The Lucky Stars were sort of like a Chinese comedy troupe. There were like 3 to 5 members at any given time, character actor guys that you would have seen in a bunch of Jackie Chan movies back then. Jackie, honestly, is not even that big of a part of the movie. The best way I can describe it is it's almost like a sitcom about a bunch of horny losers. And then at the end of the movie, like, there's just this coincidence that means that there's a fight scene, because I think that they knew that an action scene is the best way to end a movie. So it's just like silly hijinks with this kind of crime plot in the background, and then at the end there's like an awesome action sequence with Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, and Yoon Biao. But I am a fan of like the Lucky Stars guys in general and their comedy stylings, even though by today's standards some of the things they get up to are kind of cringy and pervy, but you know, taking it with a grain of salt because it was the 80s and it's a different culture, I like the Lucky Stars movies myself.
Were they anything like the Impractical Jokers?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like there's an entire sequence in this movie where it's like 3 or 4 of these guys, and I forget the circumstances, but there's like a beautiful woman who's like over at their house, and it's like the scene you'd see in like any sitcom or like 80s comedy where it's like, you know, one guy is like in the house with the girl and the other ones are all kind of hiding, and he sees that they're there but she doesn't know, and it's like he's trying to keep her from finding out they're all there, and all these guys, all they want is just to see some titties. And so it's like they're like, you know, bumbling around the house and trying not to make noise and almost getting caught and like sneaking peeks at her. And like I've definitely seen some reviews where people are like, yeah, I can't watch these movies and enjoy them anymore now. But it's like,
Sure.
and I'm not going to say it's not creepy, it's not pervy. I'm not going to tell anybody that they shouldn't have that opinion, but I think that it's innocent enough that I still find the humor in it. But I mean, it's like American Pie to me. Like, you know, there's that whole sequence where they're trying to see Nadia naked, and some people can't handle that now. But I mean, I grew up loving that movie, so I still have a soft spot for it, despite the perviness. And that's how I feel about Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars.
I got you.
Number 8 for me is going to be To Live and Die in LA, which I already talked about. It's just, it's a treat for the eyes and completely over the top in all the best ways. Number 7 for me is The Return of the Living Dead, Dan O'Bannon's horror comedy paying homage to the Dead series of the Dead series, whatever the fuck you want to call it. George Romero's zombie trilogy.
Yeah. I remember watching this.
Yeah, I seem to remember you weren't the biggest fan when you watched it, but I love the comedy in it. I love the special effects so much. The Tar Man and Bub from Day of the Dead are like tied for my favorite screen zombies of all time. I love the two of them. Linnea Quigley, one of my heartthrobs, dances naked on top of a grave in a cemetery in this movie, and I've always loved that, of course. I just think it's funny. It has a breakneck pace, some fantastic humor. Always have loved it, and I think it's eminently rewatchable. The sequels need not apply. And number 6 for me, just barely beating that out, is actually going to be Day of the Dead, which is my favorite of the George Romero original trilogy.
Okay.
I definitely like Night, but that one's almost more of a I respect it more than I like gutturally love it, you know, because it's the OG. Yeah. And then Dawn of the Dead is a lot of fun. I feel like even like the standard version of that movie sometimes drags a little bit in the middle for me, but Day of the Dead, just like how cynical it is, and it's like, you know, the military nut job and experimenting on zombies, it definitely slides a little bit more into my own tastes as far as
I totally get it. It's almost like for the same reasons you like it are the reasons it's the bottom of the 3, right? Like yeah.
Bub is such a great fucking character, and you hate that colonel or general or whatever so bad. It's so great to watch him get ripped to shreds at the end.
I just love the opening scene. It's just like almost super haunting to me, with her in the white room with the calendar and the music. Man, the music is so good in that movie too. Yeah. And then the hands reach out and she wakes up. That scene is spectacular. I love that scene.
Yeah. Big fan of this one, so that's my number 6.
Cool. Number 5 for me is Weird Science.
Oh, boy.
Talk about movies that do not age well. There's no denying that Weird Science has aged very poorly. Yet, I freaking love it, man. I just love it. I love the performances. Anthony Michael Hall as the kind of creepier friend. They play Gary and Wyatt, and you even have Robert Downey Jr. as like the villain. You got Bill Paxton as the older brother, army nut who's bananas, gets turned into like this weird shit monster thing. You have the beautiful Kelly LeBrock in the role of a sex goddess almost. I don't know. It just, again, the nostalgia of it just works so well. And as a kid, I definitely didn't see it in 85. I was definitely more towards the teenage years when I first saw it. But man, did it hit me in all the right spots, if you know what I mean. So
you realize that means Vernon Wells, who plays Bennett in Commando, is on your top 5 twice, because he also kind of sort of reprises his character from Road Warrior in this.
Yeah, that's funny. That is funny. I didn't realize that, but yeah.
Weird Science is another one for me. Didn't see when I was a kid. I have now seen it twice as an adult. And that's another one for me where I just, nostalgia will do numbers for you, because I also think Weird Science, one or two fun ideas aside, is just I don't like it. I think it is very bad, personally.
Sure.
I always go back to the...
I can't defend it. There's no way for me to defend it.
That I want to say John Hughes wrote that movie in 2 days or something, if I remember the anecdote correctly, and I feel like I feel like you can tell.
I don't know, man. It works. It works for me totally. I can't defend it. I will not try to defend it, and it's aged terribly. I understand that, but man,
I do love that you put it above Goonies.
I mean, Goonies hits that like little kid itch. Weird Science hits that preteen itch. So
hits that.
That's my number 5.
Teenager in a bar pretending to be a black man.
Yes,
itch.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. My number 5 is the aforementioned Commando.
Nice.
I mean, it's just like a seminal 80s action movie. Again, there are way better action movies, but I think that the thing that makes them better is a better story. And this is just an 80s action movie boiled down to its simplest elements. Big guy crush bunch of other guys for no good reason.
Right. I love the scene where he kills the guy on the plane randomly and makes it look like he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Then somehow escapes off the plane, like tearing through the wall and
doesn't he go down the what do you call it, the landing gear?
Yeah. He's on the actual wheel before it like goes into the plane.
Don't bother my friend. He's dead tired. God, even the I get pumped every time I watch that movie and the end credits song starts. We fight for love. We fight for love. Nobody will hurt you. It's so good. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. My number 4 is another movie that we watched this season, and is called
Clue.
Yes, Clue. It's especially with the length of that episode, we had a lot to talk about with Clue. So you don't even know my top 4. No, it's Ron. Ron was really, really good. I mean, the look of the movie alone, like I could just almost put the movie on mute and just watch it from a cinematic aspect. Like it is in a different language, so that part helps, but it's just so beautifully shot. And, the story is really, really good as far as like taking the well-known Shakespeare stuff that I should obviously know and do know because I'm very educated.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like the performances are great. The look is great. I really loved this movie, and it worked. It worked for me. So
right on. My number 4 is again the aforementioned Yes, Madam. I first discovered this movie by just seeing clips on YouTube of the fight scenes and being blown away. And then when I finally got a chance to see it, I mean, just a couple years ago, it finally got released on Region A Blu-ray from 88 Films, along with 3 of its Police Story style. They're sequels, but they're not really sequels. And I highly recommend all of them. Yeah, so this movie it's like Michelle Yeoh is a cop in, I'm assuming it's Hong Kong, I don't remember, but and then Cynthia Rothrock is an American or an English police officer who comes like to Hong Kong tracking this villain, and it's again kind of rush hour-y, where the chief of police, who I think is Michelle Yeoh's like uncle in the movie, basically he doesn't want his niece, Michelle Yeoh's character, like getting into danger, so he kind of saddles her with like, just keep her out of trouble, like, but Michelle Yeoh's like, I really want to go after these bad guys, and Cynthia Rothrock has a bone to pick with them as well. And so there's a bunch of like Police Story style comedy throughout the middle as well. There's like these 3 buffoonish like small time criminals that have a bunch of scenes and stuff that sort of vaguely tie into the plot, but then man, the final action scene of Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock in just the most like awesome, like kind of baggy, garish 80s outfits. And they're surrounded by bad guys in this set that was just designed for them to be able to like jump off of things and play around with it. And there's tons of glass, just like Police Story. And it's like, as the fight's about to start, they're standing next to each other, and I think they like turn and nod to one another, and then they both like take a fighting stance and they like high five one another, and then the fight starts, and it's just the fucking best. I mean, and it's Cynthia Rothrock's first movie. She was just like a competing martial artist going around the world and competing in fight tournaments, and when she was in Hong Kong, like a studio exec saw her and approached her and was just like, hey, would you like to be in a movie? And I think they were just about to start, or they had maybe already started filming Yes, Madam. And she just entered the film, you know, wasn't a great actress, but she wasn't even speaking their language, so I don't think they cared. And then like her action scene speaks for itself. She did a couple of more movies in Hong Kong, but then she came over to America, and it's just, again, kind of like Jackie's first experience in America. Just, she has the raw talent, but when the filmmakers don't know how to use it, it just doesn't work. And all the movies that she made in America, some of them are still fun, but it's just like, if you had only seen her American films, you would think, where did they find this woman? She's a shit martial artist. But you watch like the 4 or 5 movies she made in Hong Kong, including this one, and she blows your fucking mind with the stuff that she can do on the screen when they know how to use her. And just between her and Michelle Yeoh, oh my God, it's the best. Like, I like nothing more than an 80s action movie, unless it's an 80s action movie with women kicking the ass. And I mean, there wasn't a lot of that in the US. I mean, we watched Red Sonja for this season of the show, and we saw how that went. But yeah, if they had somebody who was skilled in martial arts in Hong Kong in the 80s, they didn't care if it was a woman. They fucking used her, and the two of them make this fucking movie. So cannot recommend it enough. Yes, madam.
I have to check it out.
Absolutely.
All right, number 3 for me is Rambo First Blood Part 2. Silly title. It's just crazy to think where Rambo went from the first movie to the second movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the first movie is pretty dramatic. It's got some action, but it's not an action movie.
It's very melancholy compared to this one.
To me, it's like one of maybe like top 2, top 3 most quintessential 80s action movies. It just hits every single note. And I think I, like, more than Commando, enjoy the story, even though the story is pretty simple. In he's got to go and rescue people, and then turns out he's kind of been set up a little bit. Anyways, it's just like when he's flexing, firing these machine guns, and he has to get revenge for the woman who dies.
Falls in love with her, like they decide to have a life together. 2 seconds later, she dies, and then he's like gonna take it to the grave.
Yeah, it's just so good. Like, everything about it, just like the amount of steroids that he must have been doing to get to that physique and that look. I don't know. It's just it's up there for me. So really love Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Yeah, I don't have as strong of a connection to the Rambo movies because I actually surprisingly wasn't like a big Stallone guy when I was younger. Never saw most of the Rockies and the Rambos until after I was out of high school. But, you know, something I appreciate now, but it'll never quite stack up to Commando for me.
Yeah, I remember watching it as a kid even. They sold it as like toys. Like you'd get Rambo toys.
I have a bunch of the action figures, even though I didn't really watch the movies as a kid. And it is crazy to think. But I mean, they made action figures in a cartoon and video games for kids out of the fucking Toxic Avenger, which is one of the most like weird, violent movies ever made. So
yeah,
it was the Wild West back then.
For sure. That's my number 3.
Number 3 for me is one of my all-time favorite horror movies, Reanimator.
I knew that was going to be on your list. I thought it might even be higher.
Of course.
Yeah.
Stuart Gordon, just, you know, the beginning of his run of H.P. Lovecraft adaptations. His first film, he came from the world of stage and just decided movies are where it's at. And man, it's just it's an incredible confluence of like, you know, there's the why can't I think of her name? There's the
Barbara Crampton.
Yeah, I can think of her name. I'm trying to think of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh.
There's like the Jamie Lee Curtises of the world and whatnot, and most people are bigger fans of Halloween than me, but like for me, my ultimate scream queen is Barbara Crampton. And just, you know, I'm not going to say that Jeffrey Combs is like an incredible actor. I think in the right roles, something like this or The Frighteners, he's very good, but just like, man, the luck that they had finding him to play Dr. Herbert West in this, and then just the like the bootstrap, you know, pulling our shit together, we've never done this before feel of like all the special effects and the practical effects and stuff, and just how like down and dirty the movie is. And like the more I watch it, the more I realize, God, there's like 3 locations in this entire fucking movie. It's so tight.
Yeah.
And it's like barely any characters, but man, they do so much with so little. And just the sense of humor, the kind of, you know, that really sub genre of, you know, science gone wrong is one of my favorite things. And it's just, it's the whole package for me. I just absolutely love Reanimator. So
I should have revisited this one because I think I've only seen it the one time.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I recall, I remember enjoying it, but again, I've only seen it the one time. So, and I want to say it was in the middle of Sidetracked as well. So I should have, it could, I think there's potential that it could have made my top 10 if I had rewatched it, but it's just not fresh enough.
Yeah. I mean, not that I ever thought, oh, Jesse's going to be the biggest fan of the Reanimator, but like that and more so even Return of the Living Dead. I remember when you finally watched those and you told me your opinions, I was like, oh, I thought they'd work a little better for you than they did, but
yeah,
you know, to each their own.
Yeah, I respect it for sure. Number 2 is Police Story. I just spent a bunch of time talking about how much I enjoyed it, but hot damn is that movie good. It really is. I mean, give the movie all the awards. Like they should have had us with the new Oscar that they're adding for stunts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just Lifetime Achievement Award just for that movie for Jackie Chan, right? Like that's not including all the other stunts that he's done throughout his 50 plus year career. But that, I mean, the stunts in Police Story are so good, man. They're so good. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's my number 2.
My number 2, I don't know if this is going to break your heart or not, but it's Back to the Future.
Oh, man. I thought we were going to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when it comes down to these top 2, and, you know, they could easily flip, but as much as I love Back to the Future, my number 1 is, well, it's the number 1, but... I mean, I'm assuming it's your number 1, which is next up on the list, so we can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Not that I feel like there's a lot to say that needs to be said, but...
I mean, it's just like a perfect movie. Like everything that they set up is paid off, and it's done in a way that feels organic and smartly written. The fact that they shot a bunch of the movie with Eric Stoltz and realized that the movie didn't work with him and then brought in Michael J. Fox, and he gives the performance that he gives is so good. Crispin Glover is not a dude that I'm like super excited to watch, but he is perfect as George McFly. Leah Thompson brings the charm that you need to watch her try to seduce her son. It's such a crazy idea. The whole premise is nuts, but you know, every actor that has a feature part in the movie, Christopher Lloyd and Thomas F. Wilson, they're just so good. It's so iconic. I love it. I love time travel movies. I love the way it works. You know, the sequels were good. I do like the sequels, but it's such a piece of original film that works from beginning to end. So.
Yeah, I'm sure I said it at some point, ranting about the Oscars over the course of the last season of the show, but I mean, this is a perfect movie. Just every single element of it works and fits together so perfectly. It's fun and funny. It's exciting. And just from like a conceptual, like sci-fi point of view, it's fulfilling in that way as well. Every single member of the cast, like you just said, is like perfect at what they're doing and how they're doing it. Like, you know, Christopher Lloyd is good. Michael J. Fox is obviously great. But like even Thomas Wilson, who you watch this movie and you think, oh, he must have gone on to have this incredible career. And he's never stopped working, but the caliber of things that he's done isn't exactly what you would think he'd get coming off of Back to the Future. But that just goes to show that he was the right choice for this role in this movie, because even if he didn't go on to be like this huge star, he's incredible as Biff, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine somebody watching this movie turning it off and being like, it was okay. I just can't imagine that happening. Like, there's other movies we've talked about, like, I know not everybody's going to be as gaga over something like Commando or Yes, Madam as I am. Yeah. And I am an example of someone who's not a big fan of movies like Weird Science and Teen Wolf, even though those movies have a lot of fans, and that's perfectly fine. But I can't imagine a human being watching Back to the Future and not enjoying it. It's just like seminally fantastic.
It's one of the few movies that I've shown my kids and they've loved it.
And when they didn't like it, you beat them?
Right. Yeah. I disowned them. No, they actually loved it. They really enjoy watching Back to the Future. It just works. I feel like it's timeless. It captures 1995 perfectly. It's got an awesome soundtrack with Huey Lewis. The fact that the DeLorean is the car that they use for Back to the Future, and it's literally only known for that. Like, the car was a piece of shit.
Well, the funny thing is, I feel like looking at it now, it's like one of the things that doesn't really work for me and probably for you the way that it's supposed to is the DeLorean, because ever since we knew that a DeLorean existed, it has been the time machine for us. Yeah. Whereas for people who were living through that time period, you know, they would have seen it and thought, that's such a stupid, shitty failure of a car with this dumb gimmick. But then, like, the great thing is that they use it to such great effect, and they've like reinvented the fucking vehicle. Yeah. And so now generations of people only know it as this thing. And how fantastic is that?
Yeah, it's so good. Just the way, if you watch it closely, the little things that pay off, even the fact, like, he goes back in time at the Twin Pine Malls, and when he comes back, it's the Lone Pine Malls. Just the little things. They didn't have to do that, and most people will never notice. I love it. It's in my top 4 Letterboxd movies. It's a perfect movie. I one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah. I agree. It is just it is perfect. Like, I feel like this movie is I feel like you could accurately describe it as flawless. I feel like even the actors wouldn't, Michael J. Fox was a good actor. He never really hit much after that. And he ended up having Parkinson's and that kind of ended his career, but
none of it was as good as Back to the Future. There's some fun things he has here and there, but none of it was really good. Christopher Lloyd is kind of the same thing. Like, he's been in things. He's known for stuff. We watched him at Clue and watched him in Addams Family. And he's fine. He's good. Crispin Glover kind of got screwed out of his working in the industry because he wasn't going to let them just use his likeness, and that kind of backfired as far as his career goes. But I think he got paid for it.
He got his revenge on Hollywood. He almost kicked David Letterman in the face with a pair of platforms on live television.
Yeah. Leah Thompson did like a Caroline in the City television show, but again, never had any huge like film success. And you mentioned Thomas Wilson. He never really had huge film success either. But everyone is so perfect in this specific movie, in this specific role. And it's, it's lightning in a bottle. We talk about certain movies like this where it's like Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, there's Terminator. It's like perfect for what it is in that moment and hard to recreate. And the fact that we haven't had any sequels or reboots.
Don't even invoke that concept.
Just praise be to Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, because they have the rights and they've very publicly said that as long as they live, there will never be a sequel or a
my
reboot. Fear
is that the both of them are going to die, and then the next thing you know, I live in abject fear of seeing like the modern version,
the reboot of it.
Yeah, where it's like 2030 and they go back to the year 2000.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that it's just the three movies, and you could even watch Back to the Future on its own, like there is the sequels, but the ending wasn't set up to be the sequel. They just thought it would be fun to have that as the ending. They weren't trying to actually set anything up. They made a sequel because the movie was the number one movie of the year. Financially, they sort of had to, but and the other movies are fun, but this one is perfect as it is, and I love it.
And it's just wild, kind of in the same way as The Matrix, which was our unanimous choice for the best 99 movie. Just coming out of the blue with such a not only incredibly unique and original, but fully formed and realized idea.
Yeah.
Yes, time travel is a concept that had existed before, but there was nothing like Back to the Future before it. Just like, the internet and cyberspace and everything and martial arts movies existed, but nothing like The Matrix.
Yeah.
On the level of like a big budget live action Hollywood movie had ever existed before. And, that I think is a big part of why there's such long-standing favorites.
1.21 gigawatts. What the hell is a gigawatt? I love it. Love it, man. So good. So good. All right. So is Police Story your number one?
Yeah. Police Story is in my top 4 on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
I really did go back and forth because, all the lip service we've given to Back to the Future, and I do love it. And like all the things I just said about how it's perfect and everything. But when it really comes down to it, this is my personal top 10. And as great as Back to the Future is, like, I love Jackie Chan. Police Story is my favorite Jackie Chan movie. I said it earlier. I think that the mall fight, aka the glass story fight, is probably the best fight scene in any movie for me. And it's just like, of all the movies of his that I love, that's my favorite. And, we've rained praise down upon it on the episode a couple times already. But I just couldn't not pick it. I've made Jackie Chan part of my personality, so it would feel wrong if I didn't choose Police Story. I don't know. It's just like, again, Back to the Future, like I said, it's, in addition to being perfect, it's also incredibly unique. And Police Story is, from the story department and the type of movie it is, it's basically just a cops and criminals, like, crime movie. And all the things that make it special and unique are all the things Jackie Chan brought to it, like from his performance and his choreography and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I could never say to anybody that it's like an incredible story on the same level as Back to the Future or something, but just in the execution, I just don't think you can deny it. I don't think you can deny Jackie Chan at the height of his powers in 1985. Like, making all of his own decisions and being like, I'm going to show you fuckers in America how it's done. And goddamn if he didn't make a better cop movie than like most of the films that had been released in America. Yeah. And I mean, just all the fight scenes, all the stunts, the comedy, it's just fantastic. All the members of his stunt team in the movie, who he also gave parts to, like his buddy who pretends to be the kidnapper in the scene you mentioned earlier, is Mars, who's one of his main dudes who did tons of stunts in the movie as well. And he was always throwing him like speaking roles in his movies and stuff, which I think is totally cool. And yeah. So Police Story.
No arguments. Yeah. This is not one of those times where it's like, I can't believe it, Ryan. No, I understand. So you top 4. I totally get it.
Yeah. Anybody who knows me knew that Reanimator and Police Story were going to be high on my list. So,
well, cool. Let's get to our year-end awards.
We're not going to give a couple of quick honorable mentions.
Sure. I'm sorry. I forgot about honorable mentions because I don't really have any. Like the things that I have are like Witness. I really enjoyed Witness, but it's not my top 10. The Color Purple, Police Academy 2.
Yeah, I only wrote down a couple in just alphabetical order. Color Purple, like you said. We watched it for Sidetracked, and it's one of those movies, if we hadn't watched it as a featured review for the show, I don't know if or when I ever would have gotten around to it. Never expected to like it as much as I did, and I think it's a really solid movie. I've subsequently bought it on Blu-ray. Not that makes it special because I have 3,000 Blu-rays, but... Flesh and Blood, which is a Paul Verhoeven movie with Rutger Hauer and Jennifer Jason Leigh. It's Paul Verhoeven's first English language film, I believe. I think it's the movie he made right before RoboCop. And it's like a medieval, just a bunch of medieval people being real fucking bastards to one another during the plague. And Rutger Hauer's awesome in it. It's just ultra violent and a movie that I like quite a bit. Another Jackie Chan movie, Heart of Dragon, with him and Sammo Hung. If that movie had 1 or 2 more action scenes in it, it easily could have made my top 10. It's a great movie anyway. I love the two of them together, but before the climactic action, it's a little sparse. It's more of like a comedy relationship movie for the most part. Phenomena, one of my favorite Dario Argento movies, with Jennifer Connelly as a young girl who has the weird psychic ability to control bugs. Donald Pleasance is in the movie and plays like a bug expert who has a pet ape. And the ape comes into play during the climax of the movie in a way that no one could ever see coming. And I fucking love how ridiculous it is. It's like a strange horror movie. The Quiet Earth is a movie that I am a big fan of. I feel like a lot of people don't know about. Dax and I reviewed it on an episode of Triple Threat Theater at some point if you want to hear me talk about it more. But it's like a low-budget science fiction movie from New Zealand. And it's basically about there's like a nuclear event takes place, and then this guy wakes up. He tried to commit suicide, and he wakes up the next morning, and it's not that everybody else is dead and he's the last one alive. It's that everyone else has disappeared, and he's like the last person on the planet. And it goes in some really interesting directions, and I can't claim to know what the ending means, but I just love the way it makes me feel whenever I watch it because it's so bizarre. I highly recommend it as like a strange, hard science fiction movie. Rambo First Blood Part 2, which does have awesome action, but between the two, it's just no Commando for me, so it didn't make the list. Rocky 4, I mean...
Yeah, we haven't talked much about Rocky, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Rocky 1 man. I know there are a lot of people who would say like Rocky 2 or Rocky 4 is better or whatever.
No, but I think Rocky 1, the first Rocky is my favorite of the Rockies for sure.
Yeah, but just from like, you know, kind of the way Commando is like just the most blunt object of 80s action movies, Rocky 4 is like the blunt object of that franchise. It's like so dumb and on the nose, but at the same time, it's like you can't not get pumped up watching it, you know?
Yeah.
The stuff I wanted to throw on there for me personally, a low budget Larry Cohen movie about a whipped cream looking dessert that is alive, kind of like the Blob. And when people eat it, it takes over their bodies and turns them into like a hive mind of mindless zombies. And it's like Larry Cohen's cynical look at like the corporate world and marketing and how it's like bad for the human society. I watched it as a kid and I loved it because it's like, oh my God, it's like these people versus this giant white blob of ooze. But then as an adult, I see it as kind of the cynical parody that it is. And it's like I like it on a whole different wavelength than what I did when I was a kid. It's not a good movie, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
And finally, I did come close. Like, I was thinking I hadn't watched Fletch in a long time. Like, maybe I wouldn't like it as much as I did back then if I watched it now. I almost threw Vision Quest on at number 10. But that's my last honorable mention, because I did like Vision Quest a lot when we watched it, and it's a movie that I do find myself thinking about from time to time.
Yeah.
I can't say the same for Clue or even something like Ron, but I think back to Vision Quest here and there, and I definitely need to pick up a copy of that movie, and I see myself rewatching it in the future.
Sure. Yeah. So definitely the surprise hit of the season.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the awards. Much like we did last season, we've got just some random awards. We got
some returning favorites from last time and some new categories for this season.
All right, so let's start with our first category, the Before They Were Famous Award for Best Bit Role by a Future Star. Our first nominee, Giancarlo Esposito from Desperately Seeking Susan. That is the correct way to pronounce his name, I believe.
This is news to me. That's wild.
I was watching some interview on YouTube, and he was talking about his history growing up in, I want to say, Italy, and they changed the pronunciation of his names to like hide the accent or something like that. But he's like correcting how to pronounce his last name. It was weird.
Esposito. All right.
So that's our first nominee. Actually has a speaking role. He's like $10 for the hat, $10 for a hat. I think that kind of gives him a leg up here.
I didn't catch him when we watched the movie until you told me after the fact. That was a surprise to me.
That was him. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look like Gus. So
yeah. I mean, if you give him a good look in the face, you recognize him. But the movie, he's like such a small throwaway part.
Well, what about our next nominee? Did you see him at all? That's Stanley Tucci.
No, I was going to say I don't even remember Stanley Tucci in the movie.
I don't think he had a speaking role. I think I saw him. I noticed him. He's like one of the foot soldiers for one of the gangsters, but he doesn't have a speaking role. And I don't know if their next nominee has a speaking role, but he's definitely noticeable, and that's Forrest Whitaker in Vision Quest.
Yeah, he's got a couple lines in the movie, I'm pretty sure.
For me, I want to give it to Giancarlo. I feel like I liked the scene. He was most notable. Maybe, I don't know, it's between him and Forrest Whitaker for sure. Stanley Tucci is like an honorable mention.
Yeah. I mean, I'm inclined to say Forrest Whitaker because he plays an actual character in the movie who like has a name. But I mean, if you vibed with Giancarlo Esposito, that's fine with me. Because I don't feel super strongly either way. I would just go with Forrest personally because he had like the biggest role, but that's not necessarily the reason we need to choose someone as the winner.
I liked it because, like we mentioned in the show, for me it was like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where I was like, that's Giancarlo. It's Giancarlo to Gus. So I want to give it to Giancarlo. We'll give him the award,
that's
and our first award goes to Desperately Seeking Susan. What's our next award, Ryan?
Returning category from last season is the Muddy May Suggins Award for Best Character Name or Nickname. I explained where that comes from last time, so you can go back and listen to that episode or just Google it. But it's a reference. Some people will get it. So our nominees for Best Character Name or Nickname are Falcon with a K, Paul L. Smith's character from Red Sonja.
Is he the guy she fights?
No, he's the manservant of Ernie Reyes.
Oh, okay. His name's Falcon. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they say it in the movie, but that's what he's credited as. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Next nominee is Jean-Pierre Baldozer, Forrest Whitaker's character from Vision Quest.
What's so funny about that is I don't think we hear anyone say his name in the movie. I don't think
so.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, like, you're watching the credits and you're like, yeah, there's Forrest Whitaker. Who the fuck did he play? And with a name like Jean-Pierre Baldozier, a.k.a. Baldozer,
it's so like funny.
The director or the writer or someone must have known someone with that real name, because you don't make that name up or just like pluck it out of the air. A normal person would be like, yeah, he plays Frank Jones because the character's not that important. Baldozer.
Or wrestler number 4, like that, because he doesn't have any like real lines. No one calls him by his name. I'm surprised he doesn't just have that.
And then just for the alliteration alone, from Out of Africa, we've got it's a fucking tongue twister. We have Baron Bror Blixen, played by Klaus Maria Brandur.
Now, is that the one she marries, or is that the one that she was in love with originally?
Don't remember. It's one of the two. The same guy played both of them as twins.
That's funny.
Yeah, but Baron Bror Blixen. It's hard to say, but I mean, just because. What the fuck kind of name is Baldozer? I feel like it's got to be Forrest Whitaker for this one. I
agree. I'm up for giving this one to Forrest Whitaker from Vision Quest.
All right, give it to Jean-Pierre Baldozer.
All right, our next category is the Far Out and Totally Tubular Award for Best Song.
Yeah, specifically songs made for the movie or like used as the theme song for the movie.
Right. So our first nominee is Crazy for You by Madonna in Vision Quest, which was played, I think, 3 times in the movie.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think you said as trivia that in other countries, the movie was called Crazy for You. Yeah. So strong contender.
I like that one. Invincible by Pat Benatar for The Legend of Billie Jean. I think that song is the end credits. Or is it in the movie?
They play it during the movie as well, during the like Underground Railroad scene when Billy's on the run and all the other girls have their hair cut short like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good song.
I liked that song a lot. It's one of those ones where during the movie I was just like, man, this fucking fits this sequence thing.
Start bopping your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Our final nominee is Spies Like Us by Paul McCartney for the movie Spies Like Us. That song sucks. I'm sorry.
I don't even remember the song. Is it like an end credits song?
It's the end credits song. Yeah. I mean, I love Paul McCartney, love the Beatles. I'm not a big fan of that song.
I wish I had written down the quote when I was looking up to see like what all options there were for nominees for this category. There is a quote from the director where he basically says that he thinks the song sucks, but he couldn't say no when they offered to get Paul McCartney to do the song.
Yeah. That's like the biggest thing of the movie is the song by Paul McCartney.
Yeah. So
I'm leaning towards Invincible by Pat Benatar. I think it just fit more than even Vision Quest. I think I do like the Crazy for You song. It's not my favorite of the Madonna songs. And it fits the style and tone of the movie, especially because they play it so many times. Yeah. But I think Invincible by Pat Benatar just
that song
works
rips
better. Yeah.
Like I wouldn't scoff at choosing Crazy for You, and I do like that song, but Invincible, it was awesome. And in the context of the movie, it was awesome too.
Sure. All right, that's our winner. Legend of Billie Jean getting their first award.
Next up, we have the Grand Theft Cinema Award for supporting character who stole the whole movie, another returning category from last season. Nominees are the Gnome King from Return to Oz, stealing the scene just because it was so fucking impressive how they accomplished that character with stop motion animation.
Yeah. Sure.
Prince Tarn from Red Sonja, Ernie Reyes Jr.'s spunky little kung fu character.
I did like him.
Yeah, I mean, he adds something to the movie. It's a little dry without him, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And Leslie Glass from Desperately Seeking Susan, which was Laurie Metcalf, the kind of like spunky best friend character, who I just feel like she's not in the movie a ton, but every time she opened her mouth, something funny came out of it.
Yeah, she one of the best parts of the movie for sure.
Yeah. So like as a character, I think that she could take it home for this one. I mean, the Gnome King is just...
it's the Gnome King for me. Like, it's not even close. Like, when he comes on the scene and when they finally get to the climax of the movie and we see his face and then he goes from rock to person. That stuff just steals the entire movie.
It's
so for
mind blowing. I mean, we talked about it extensively on the episode when we reviewed it, but the special effects used to accomplish that character on the screen, and quite extensively, because that scene goes on for a long time, and you see like the slow progression of him turning from like just a mouth on a rock to like a human made out of rock. Oh my God, it is good.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm totally there with you. It's Gnome King all the way.
For sure. The Men Want Her, Women Want to Be Her award for Dreamiest 80s Dream Girl. This is a good category, especially for this year.
I mean, it had to be with an 80s movie, you know?
For sure. Our nominees are Madonna as Susan Thomas from Desperately Seeking Susan. I mean, could you find a more dreamiest women want to be her, men want her person?
I mean,
Madonna
we're
playing
talking
Madonna.
about 80s Madonna, like fashion icon and everything, but also the plot of the movie is about another woman wants to be her.
Yeah. I mean, she's got to be the favorite for the category. Next up, we've got Helen Slater as Billie Jean Davy from The Legend of Billie Jean. Putting up a great fight in this category, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, fair is fair.
We both agreed that, like the reason I even picked the movie was just because of her look on the poster.
Yeah, and the whole movie is people falling in love with Billie Jean and wanting to be like her.
Yeah, cutting their hair like her and wearing T-shirts with her face on it.
Yeah. And then finally, we've got Linda Florentino as Carla from Vision Quest. And man, I mean, she could easily win this category if it was any other year. Mm-hmm. But I think she's running a distant third behind Helen Slater and Madonna. Like, it's honestly between the two of them.
Like, those two characters are like these kind of like larger than life kind of ridiculous examples of what the category is all about. If you wanted to talk just like straight down the line, like Linda Fiorentino's character in Vision Quest is, I stop short of calling her a manic pixie dream girl, but she's just like, it's like a man wrote the perfect woman for like a teenager. Like, she's a little older than him. She's just the coolest fucking person in the world. She's an artist who wants to move out to Hollywood and be like, and work in movies. And she's just like cool and kind of feels like one of the guys, but she's hot. And she's like, due to circumstances, living in his house with him. Just like, I mean, there's a lot there to work with, but
totally.
I mean, I
she's
feel
good.
like
she's really good. And I like I said, any other year she probably wins, but against Helen Slater and Madonna, I think it's pretty tough. It's, for me, it's Madonna because it's Madonna. Like, she literally
there with you. Yeah.
is playing Madonna. Like, call her Susan Thomas all you want. She's Madonna. She dresses and looks and sounds and acts like Madonna. And I mean, the entire premise is what's her name trying to be her. Like, that's, and you know, and becoming her in a way with her amnesia. So I feel like that's the way we got to go. That'd be my vote.
I agree. That's the logical choice.
Yeah. All right. Madonna is our winner. Desperately Seeking Susan taking home another award. Nice.
And lest you think we're just, gross male stereotypes, we follow up that with the Women Want Him, Men Want to Be Him award for Dreamiest 80s Dreamboat. Nominees include Arnold Schwarzenegger as Calidor from Red Sonja, because how could you not nominate Arnold Schwarzenegger, the specimen that he is?
Especially at peak, right? Like, this is just about as he's about to hit that peak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is him, like, still coming off of, like, my main thing is I'm a bodybuilder, not even really an actor yet.
Yep.
Aidan Quinn as Dez from Desperately Seeking Susan, the, like, kind of love-struck guy who falls in love with not really Susan.
Yeah.
Because he thinks it's her, but she's not, because she has amnesia. And then, you know, the critics hated him, but how can you deny those baby blues? Robert Redford as Dennis Finch Hatton in Out of Africa.
I mean, for me, like, big fan of Arnold. You know, in this movie, it's just such a bad movie that it's hard to me for me to even give it an award. Aiden didn't hit me as much as he did you when we watched Desperately Seeking Susan. And Robert Redford, man, in the adventurer's Outback outfit with those blue eyes and just how dreamy he is. For me, it's Bob all the way.
I'm going to fight you a little bit on this one. And as much as I like Arnold, I got to throw my hat in the Aiden Quinn ring. That scene of him shirtless on the rooftop with the cat.
Yeah, with the cat, yep.
And he's just like the same way that I was talking about Linda Fiorentino being kind of like exactly what any high school boy would want in a girl. I feel like Aiden Quinn as like a lovable loser is like exactly what any girl would want. I would think. I obviously can't say that for sure, but he's just a nice dude. He's down to earth. Again, he's just got like striking eyes, and
does have the striking eyes. Yeah.
I was a little taken with him, I'll admit.
You know what? I'm gonna go with you with Aiden. I'm gonna pass over Bob and give it to Aiden because
here's the thing. Robert Redford is Robert Redford. Robert Redford doesn't have to try to be a likable, desirable guy. Yep. Aiden Quinn is someone I mostly know as an actor, like much later in life when he's older. Like it was a surprise to me when I realized who he was, even because he looks so different. But I just thought, like, what a singular performance he gives. And he's just so lovable, and he's a friend of cats.
Yeah, the fact that cat was able to act as well as it did is most impressive thing in the entire movie.
He's got that simultaneously cool but shitty apartment. His job is he runs a projector in like a shitty cinema that plays like shitty old science fiction movies. It's just like, if he had tits, like he could have won in the other category for me for women.
I mean, Robert Redford's hunting elephants, man. I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'll relent, and we'll give our third award to Desperately Seeking Susan, cleaning it up this season of movies I missed.
Thank you for letting me have that one.
All right, the Goofy Movie Award, the Goofy Movie Award for Most Perfect Cast, which again is explained in last season's episode.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with our first nominee, Clue. And we've got the list here: Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Leslie Ann Warren, Michael McKean, and Colin Camp. Quite a cast there, for sure. Prince's Honor is our second nominee with Jack Nicholson, Kathleen Turner, Robert Loggia, John Randolph, William Hickey, Angelica Houston, Lawrence Tierney, and CCH Pounder. And then finally, our final nominee is back again, Desperately Seeking Susan, with Rosanna Arquette, Madonna, Aiden Quinn, Laurie Metcalf, Will Patton, Stephen Wright, and John Turturro.
It's those last three that kind of place that one in that category for me because, like, Rosanna Arquette, Madonna, Aiden Quinn, they're our main characters. Laurie Metcalf, good side character, but then just like character actors, Will Patton, Stephen Wright, John Turturro, boom, 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 like rounds out that cast.
Yeah, and of the three, I think it's the bottom of the three. I
would also agree with that, yes.
You know, Prince's Honor has quite the cast. I would not call it perfect, but Jack Nicholson, Kathleen Turner, and then Angelica Houston, who is pretty much steals the show. I think her performance was the strongest, but she's barely in it.
Yeah.
I think kind of hurts the movie. I mean, Clue is built as an ensemble.
That's the thing, is it's like, we talked about it when we reviewed the movie, that like even all those women's names are recognizable, but I'm not super familiar with them. But just like Tim Curry, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, like kind of comedy powerhouses. And that whole movie is built around the concept of we're going to put a bunch of people in a room together and make them all play off of one another. Like,
and that's where the movie excels. Like that's
exactly
the strength of the movie.
What
sure.
works in the movie is like the goofball characters all like cranked up to 11 the whole time.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of good names in Prince's Honor, but even I remember us talking about how Angelica Houston disappears from the movie for a while. Lawrence Tierney, I believe, is only in one scene, you know, so I would go Clue.
Yeah, I think it's an easy win. And who knew Clue would walk away with an award this season. But here you go. Not only an award, but the Goofy Movie Award. So.
Yeah, one of the most prestigious, desirable awards in the movies I missed canon. Next up, we have the Nurse Ratched Award for Vilest Villainess. Nominees being Sandal Bergman as Queen Gedrin from Red Sonja, Jean Marsh as Mombi, the woman whose head comes off in Return to Oz, and Miko Harada as Lady Cade from Ron. And we had some debate on the show about whether or not it's right to call her character a quote-unquote a or the villain in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think when the entire kingdom has been brought to its knees by her machinations, and she basically says to the characters at the end, I accomplished all my goals and just ruined your guys' fucking lives. Go ahead and kill me. And then they chop her goddamn head off and paint the wall with her blood.
Yeah.
Makes me kind of want to go with Ron on this one.
I'm with you. I think Mombi from Return to Oz is terrifying, especially as an 80s villain. I mean, the effects of her removing her head has
and
stuck
all her different heads. Yeah.
Yeah. It's stuck with people for 40 years. Like, it's one of the most iconic moments from the movie. And she is scary as hell. And she's also in the real world.
The nurse.
She's going to give shock therapy to Dorothy. Definitely a great villain. And then, Queen Gedrin was fun, and she was definitely did some villainous things, but
she's not in the movie enough, I feel.
Yeah, she was more like silly fun than scary fun, whereas like Mombi was like scary fun. And then Lady Cade was the best villain. And I think the moment when she asks for the head of what's his name's wife is the moment where she becomes an actual villain. Like, where it becomes more than just revenge. She's actually taking an innocent life. And all of her, like you said, machinations come to pass. Like, she wins.
She's it's a questionable, it's the downfall of the entire family line is the son's inability to do the right thing and rule properly, but it's all egged on by her. She's just behind the scenes needling the two brothers the whole time. Yeah.
She definitely deserves the award. So that's
just like, unless you are a character that the audience is supposed to hate, you don't get done like that at the end of a movie.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, Lady Cade.
I still don't know how to pronounce her name. I should have gone back and like listened to a clip from the movie or something, but
Miko Harada is going to take home the award for Ron. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Genius or Madness Award for Craziest Plot Twist. I believe this is also a returning category.
Yep. Our final returning category from last season.
We've got Christian Slater gets shot by a sniper at the end of Legend of Billie Jean.
Which
doesn't die, but did come out of nowhere.
Totally did not see that coming, though.
That was crazy. Jack Nicholson actually assassinating his own wife in Pritzi's honor.
Also, did not expect the movie to go there.
Yeah.
Like, it builds you up to be like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity. They've been sent to kill each other. While they're away from the families, they'll just fly off together like they talked about and leave this life behind.
Yep.
And then Jack Nicholson's just like, I like the perks of the mob too much.
Yeah. Is that genius or madness? We don't know. And then our final nominees, every single thing that happens in Desperately Seeking Susan. Because that movie is bananas. Is it genius? I would argue it is madness. Like,
I think there's about, that movie's what, like an hour, 45 minutes or something?
Yeah,
I think there's a solid 12 times. If you were watching this movie with someone who'd never seen it before, you could pause the film and just turn to them and say, I'll give you $7 million if you can guess what's going to happen next. And you would walk away without paying a dime.
Yeah.
It's so bananas, the shit that takes place in that movie. I mean, the entire movie is a plot twist.
Yeah. Yeah. All of it.
I feel like it has to go to Desperately Seeking Susan, who's sweeping this awards ceremony.
Yeah, it really is. I'm with you. Christian Slater would be a close second because that was so weird. But the fact that he doesn't die, I think, kind of negates that a little bit. Jack Nicholson assassinating his own wife was surprising.
I never thought that one of them was actually going to die. Never while watching that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But gosh, Desperately Seeking Susan, movie of the year for movies I missed, 1985. Who knew?
Yeah. All right, and then our final award, another newcomer, is the Slow Clap Award for Most Inspirational Speech. First up, we have Fair is Fair from The Legend of Billie Jean. Next up, we have the Pele speech from Vision Quest. And finally, we have Eulogy for Dennis from Out of Africa, who is Robert Redford's character.
Man, this is tough. Like, the Pele scene in Vision Quest is phenomenal. Like, it comes out kind of out of nowhere from a character that you don't expect it to come from. And it's like so well delivered that I was like pretty struck by it.
Yep.
The Fair is Fair runs through the entirety of The Legend of Billie Jean and turns her into a legend.
Mm-hmm.
And the speech isn't as good. The catchphrase is perfect, though.
Yeah.
Like, Fair is great. The Eulogy for Dennis, I feel like, was moving, and it really worked in the movie. Doesn't really last with me. Like, it's not the most memorable part of the movie. And not even saying that the Pele scene in Vision Quest is the best scene of the movie, because it's probably not. But it stuck out. Like, the Pele speech really sticks out in Vision Quest.
I'm going to be straight with you. I created this category when I was like, oh, there's a really good speech in Legend of Billie Jean and a really good speech in Vision Quest. And then I spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out what that third nominee could be. And when I went back and I rewatched the Eulogy from Out of Africa, it's short and sweet. It has a good message. And that the moment where, I forget exactly how she words it, but at the very end of the eulogy, she says like, he didn't belong to us. He didn't belong to me, or something like that. It's a good moment. And then she like walks away from the funeral.
Yeah.
But, and admittedly, it was just there to like fill the space.
Sure.
Fair is Fair. Awesome scene. They put it out over the television. It's like what amps everybody up to follow them. But I'll be honest, when I made this list, I went on YouTube, and the Pele speech is on YouTube. And just watching it on YouTube out of the context of the movie, I got a little choked up watching it again.
It's so good. It is so good.
It's 100% Pele for me. That scene comes out of nowhere in the movie, and it low-key wrecks you in that movie.
Mm-hmm. It really does.
Such a good message, a character you never expected. Like, he's not in the movie that much. You don't think he's going to have this like seminal moment in the film, and it's such a good speech.
The delivery, like the person that acted it, I couldn't tell you who it was.
Yeah,
gave it perfectly. It's very sincere, and it even more so than Vision Quest. Like the whole idea of they kind of explain Vision Quest. That scene, that speech, kind of sums up everything so well.
It's interesting. So rewatching it and kind of getting the message of it is like throughout the movie, what's the actor's name who plays the main character? Slipped my mind.
Matthew
Modine. His character, it's like he is passionate, driven, maybe a little misled. And he takes this Vision Quest idea and he sets himself on a course, and it's like he has a goal, right? But he's not really doing it because of the goal. It's like he doesn't even realize why the goal is important. He's doing it, it's like because he's searching for meaning. And then his belief in what he's doing is shaken because of Carla, the Linda Fiorentino character, because she comes into his life and suddenly he thinks, oh, well, this thing that I've been doing, it's not all that important. And she leaves to try and be like, don't let me be the thing that's in your way. But at that point, he's now too like obsessed with her and focused on her. And he's like forgotten like what his goal was in the first place. And it's that scene when he goes and sees the dude that he works with at the kitchen at the hotel, and the guy's getting ready to go to his wrestling match, and Matthew Modine's like, why are you going to the wrestling match? You've never been to any of my matches before. And he gives that speech, and he basically tells Matthew Modine, it doesn't matter why you were going to do it in the first place. The only thing that matters is that you actually go through with it. And that, to me, is like the whole message of the fucking movie in one scene, right before the quote-unquote climax. It's just a perfectly timed, extremely well-executed little nugget of, like, a speech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm all about the Pele scene. Yeah. Frankly, I will accept no substitute.
I mean, I'm there with you. You nominated it as a way to get an award, and I there's no argument. Like I said, Fair is Fair is really good, and it kind of runs through the movie. The whole moment with her, revealing the new haircut and the look, and fighting for what is fair. It's great. It's good, but it's not even the best part of the movie. Yeah.
Pele might be the best sequence of dialogue in that movie in Vision Quest.
For sure.
There's a lot of good stuff in it, and the movie looks really great and whatever, but man.
But to have the whole, especially right before the climax of the movie, to have it all sort of spoken in a way that it's just so well written, so well performed.
You know what it is to me? I feel like this is the best way to get across how I feel about it. And I'll admit that this is big shoes to fill. And it's not as grand in scale, but it's the scene in Good Will Hunting where Robin Williams finally breaks down Matt Damon and he cries in his office and they hug.
It's not your fault.
That scene. Yes.
It's not your fault. Yeah.
It's that scene for this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. All right. So our final award is going to go to probably the best movie. I think Ron is probably better, but I think you had Vision Quest a little bit higher.
It's the one that like I said, it stuck with me.
Sure.
The way I do my Letterboxd reviews for Triple Threat Theater, my other podcast, or this one, since we bank episodes beforehand, I don't show my hand and review a movie as soon as I watch it. I'll wait until the episode airs and then I'll write my review for a movie. So as we record this, Ron was just released, that episode, not too long ago. So I just, in the last day or three, wrote my review of Ron. And you'd probably disapprove of this, but I only gave it 3 stars. And I said right at the top of my review, this is one of many Akira Kurosawa movies that I respect, but wouldn't necessarily say that I greatly, I forget how I worded it, but didn't love it as I was watching it or something like that. It's a good movie, but Vision Quest, I'm not giving any impassioned speeches about Ron, whereas I just tried to break down the soul of man through a speech in Vision Quest.
Yeah.
That movie weirdly worked its magic on me.
So Vision Quest and Desperately Seeking Susan, 2 best movies of the year.
Desperately Seeking Susan, I guess, just checked a lot of boxes.
Yeah, sure did. Movies that didn't win any awards: Spies Like Us, Prizzi's Honor.
Spies Like Us was a struggle. I wanted every movie to be represented in at least one of these categories. And it wasn't until I was wait a minute, I think there was a song written for Spies Like Us that I was that's a category I could put it in, because it didn't have a huge, incredible cast. It's a silly comedy. So there were no major plot twists that I was it'll work for that. There's no inspirational speech.
Yeah.
I don't know how the average person feels about Dan Aykroyd, but he wasn't going to be the 80s dreamboat. For
sure. Not for Spies Like Us. Red Sonja didn't win any awards, and Out of Africa didn't win any awards, but
Prizzi's Honor, did you mention that? That didn't win,
Prizzi's Honor didn't win any awards either,
Yeah.
Not a big surprise, but a fun year. A fun year to go back and some hidden gems. I think finding Vision Quest, and even The Legend of Billie Jean, which I liked. Revisiting Oz or visiting Oz for the first time, I guess, returning to Oz was a real good time. And, just the fact that we got to see some of the best special effects from the year, I think was really cool.
Yep.
So a pretty fun year. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this season of Movies I Missed. We're going to wrap up the 80s. So for season 1, we did 1999. For season 2, we did 1985. We will be back for season 3. I don't think it will be as long of a break, but I make no promises.
I was going to say, don't speak too soon. Who knows what will happen between now and then.
We will be back for season number 3, where we will be covering the year 2008. 2008.
I feel like I've seen a lot of movies from 2008.
2008 was the year that we started Sidetracked. It was the year that I got married.
That's right.
More importantly, it was the year that The Dark Knight was
Never has a more Jesse thing been said, and I know it was in jest, but never has a more Sidetracked era Jesse Munoz thing been said that speaks truth to me than that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this season of Movies I Missed. Would love to hear what you think. Follow us on Instagram. We're on YouTube at Movies I Missed and at moviesImissed.com. I should plug my Discord and add a link because we got a lot of conversation going over on my other podcast, 216 Podcast Discord. We chat about movies I missed quite a bit over there. So if you're on Discord, we'll throw a link in the description here for that too. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed this season. It's been fun, and we'll be back for 2008. Until then, I'm Jesse Munoz.
I'm Ryan Miller.
See you in the future.